I mean, the statistics from different authorities vary, but it's said that at least more than half of the businesses that start do not see the end of the 12th month before they pack up. Then the casualties increase. By the end of year 5, only about 10% are still alive. Now, 25 years down the line, Alpha Pharmacy is not only in good business, it is still relevant in the business of retail pharmacy today, nationwide and internationally. It has grown from retail to distribution to ethical marketing, all under your leadership. Can you let us into one of the, I know there are 101 secrets, but into one of the things that makes Alpha Alpha?
I feel happy seeing so many bright faces here, and I know that the next panel will have even a fuller house. God helping us. Alpha, it's in the business of retail and distribution. We were incorporated in 1985 and actively started business early in 86. We couldn't do much in 85. But we started small. But there's one thing unique about Alpha. As the name goes, God was with us from the beginning, even where myself, then as a Christian, had given my life to Christ and taken it back, managing it myself. So apparently I wouldn't be the typical Christian today who will have a lot of more insight. But God was still there in His mercy. So Alpha was born out of the grace of God. So when I even chose that name, I chose the name of God, but I was thinking like man. I was just thinking of Alpha, excellent. I want to do something excellent. I didn't think of God as excellent God. I didn't think of God as the beginning and the end. But He gave me that name. There was no other way it came. So I can attribute all that has happened to Alpha to that particular beginning. Now, while we were yet sinners, our Lord had died, and in His mercies, He's ready to still visit us with ideas. So Alpha started with ideas that came as seed from the beginning. And from doing those small things we did at the beginning, He gave us the Blue Ocean Strategy. While the books on Blue Ocean Strategy came out only in 2005, we had Blue Ocean Strategy from 86. Still, not that I read about it any other place, but it's still the same benevolence, the same mercy of God. Because, why do I say that? When we started, I still had the connection from NGC, then Nigerian Herbst, where I worked. And that's where there we did the hormones from Sharon, we did Anti-D from Behring, we did the halotens, and a number of raw ethical drugs. Herbst was one of the best 3 in the country then. So from that beginning, I left and still had connection there. And they were able to give me in-depth business. I had to go to Berlin. Actually, we broke the record of Sharon, because for the first time I got to Berlin, then West Berlin, in one cold winter, and they had to pack some Primogonil and some hormones for me to take on my flight back, because we had their need. And those little things, they came at a time the country was really starving. So from there, I linked up Anti-D, Anti-Snake. There were things, products that I didn't think twice before falling back to. So I must say that Alpha started from that type of beginning. So we need to have a root. We have to have a base. You have to have a model. You have to work somewhere, you have to gain some experience somewhere. Maybe that will be the place God will bless you from. And I'm saying this to the younger ones because many of you are ready to go right away. So if you hear Alpha, this actually is the secret of Alpha. But the major secret is that God was always there to give us direction, even in our own folly. But along the line, when we started working more closely with God, then He started replenishing us with ideas. Ideas are seeds. You know, say if you have a mango seed and plant one, you can have a mango forest and you can have a mango factory. So from those small beginning, doing a few hormones and vaccines, I started dovetailing into some other bigger things by the same grace. So it wasn't what's happening in Alpha it's not so much of me, but along the line too, God sent very good, helpful hands. So we treasure our staff. We also have some who have been there for 15 years, 18 years, 10 years, 12 years. Some of them have worked for a long time. And they are the ones now who are together with me enjoying that grace of God. We have a lot of resources in terms of these endless resources of rare ethical products. And there are still some in the pipeline. You know, he keeps on bringing replenishing the ideas beyond what not a very clever man, beyond what I can imagine or conjecture. You know, still in line with his promises. He can do abundantly, exceedingly above whatever you can imagine or think about. So God is there to bless you for being here today also. And this is not like a church talk. Even if you're a Hindu or a Muslim, there's a God that all of us worship. Whatever you call your own God, my Christian God has done very well for me. I can sleep. I've told my staff, don't get rough on the field with competition. Because we have an endless source that will always give us another product to feed us. You will not believe it. If you see some of the analysis we did using the Pareto principle, we found some products you don't even know have performed more than anything else in our retail. Unknown names of some rare drugs that he just planted in our hearts and we bring it in. Actually, we're not selling those ones even on wholesale. But it sells more than all the Augmentin, our Ampiclox, everything put together. A tiny thing. So God can put your own seed in your hand today also. And I want to pray that all the best practices, my colleagues have talked about them. You have to train. We just finished training on Saturday. We had a retreat also. 17 of us from Enugu, from Otakot, from Abuja, gathered with the head office here in a hotel and for Friday and Saturday. And we just had a strategy session. Had a professor whom we paid also to come and teach something in a particular area where we are lacking. So you have to get the right staff. You have to encourage them. You have to train them. You have to do your best. And but remember, for us, those are givens. But the